So today is Tuesday, November 1st, which means it is officially the beginning of the Once Upon a Readathon, hosted by Hannah Blackwell and like 16 other co-hosts, myself included. I'm one of the team captains for the witches team. So I thought I would do, because I've been having such a hard time like filming regularly scheduled videos. Oh, my scrunchie's in the other room. I've been having such a hard time filming regularly scheduled videos. I thought I would do a reading vlog, like a weekly reading vlog over the course of the month. So, readathon starts today. I have 5 books picked out on my TBR. You can check out my TBR video. I will link it up above. And yeah, I thought we would just get started. So I'll tell you what I'm going to be reading. One of the things with this readathon, oh, and she's awake. One of the readathon things is that you have to do things in steps. So the first prompt and the first book that I'm going to be reading is the one that was for royalty or retelling. I think that's what mine are. And so I'm reading The Queens of Innis Lear by Tessa Gradden. So I have both an ebook and through the library, and the audio is on Scribd. So I'm going to be taking advantage of both of those formats for the readathon. And then from there, I'm going to be reading Clara and the Sun by Kazuo Ishiguro. And that is for the orange and yellow and red kind of thing on the cover. That is my prompt for that one. That one I have a physical copy of. My partner just finished reading it. He's been reading it. It's his copy. And it's recently acquired. That was the other prompt that it works for. And he's been reading it, like trying like rapid fire to finish it before I could start it, because it is his book, and I have an old habit of reading his physical books before he gets to them. So he wanted to read it first. Fair. So he like read that over the weekend, and he really, really enjoyed it, and he was like really stressed out, and he said it was, I don't know, he really, really liked it. So it makes me that much more excited to pick it up as well. If you can hear Poppy crying in the background, she's not in any harm. She is in her crate, and whenever she wakes up in the crate, she's like, oh my God, I'm alone. So I'm gonna get her in 2 seconds. Anyway, so I'm just putting on makeup. It's like noon, but I just thought I would get a little bit like started and ready. It's one of those like really gray, dreary days outside, and it's so dark in the apartment because of that, and I just have not done anything. I'm still in my track pants. So that is the plan. Have to get started. I am going to take Poppy out for a walk, have a little walk, maybe have some playtime inside, and then hopefully get reading. And I'm just going to switch up between the audio and the ebook based on, what I have access to in the moment. Like if she's down or if I'm doing errands and stuff like that, I'm going to do the audio. And if she is down and sleeping, I will read the ebook, or whichever I think is fastest. And then we'll go from there. Poppy, find it. Vlog is just gonna be like, get ready with me while I talk about books. Not the intention, but it is just like time that I have. So anyway, today is Friday. It's been a minute since I checked in. That was not my plan, but here we are. So I have been reading The Queens of Innis Lear by Tessa Gradden, the first book, and this is covering my royalty prompt and the retelling prompt. And Poppy's going crazy in the background because I just put her down for a nap. And she doesn't always want to, even though she desperately needs it. So, I don't know if I mentioned last time, like what The Queens of Innis Lear is about. It's a retelling of King Lear, but if you don't know that story, King Lear is a king of, I'm not sure in Shakespeare. It's been a hot minute since I read that book. That was in grade 12 in high school. And the king has 3 daughters. Gala, Regan, and Elia. I don't know why I'm forgetting their names. It's the only thing I'm reading. It is assumed that Gala is going to inherit everything, but the king, who is like kind of slowly going mad, is kind of how it's presented, calls them all together and says he's going to, declare the succession story, etc. And instead of naming a single heir, he tells them that he's going to split up his lands. He's going to divide his land in 3 and give each of his daughters a third of the land. And then they kind of pressure him to name a single heir, and he says that he'll give it to, or his heir is going to be the daughter who loves him the most. And then he demands in front of the whole court that they tell him how much they love him. This is from the original Shakespeare, King Lear as well. So that is where we're at. That is a setup. It is very clear that Elia is sort of like the main character. I think the one that we're supposed to care about the most. But we do follow perspectives from each of the 3 sisters, as well as additional people surrounding this situation, including a childhood friend of Elia's. We follow the king of a different land who is trying to court her, and we get one of their uncles. There might be more perspectives as well thrown in here and there, as well as some flashbacks. Overall, I'm really, really loving this book. I feel like it's not super well loved. I think it's like a very particular book. It's a very slow going. It's very methodical. And it's a lot of just like Elia being in her head a little bit. There are definitely lots of flashbacks. There's like a little bit of a conspiracy of like what happened to the mom who died when the oldest daughter was 16. And like, as I said, like it is very clear that while we're, I think, supposed to care about Elia the most, I could totally be wrong on her name. Anyway, while we're supposed to care about her the most, or like want her to be the queen, even though there's like really no clear reason, she was like trained to be a priestess in this like star-based prophecy religion that they have. But despite that, Tessa Gratton did a really good job of creating sympathy and understanding for the motivations and perspectives of all of the other characters involved, even ones that I think we're not supposed to care about. I think she did a really good job of exploring the things that drive these different characters. We have Gala, the oldest sister, who is very militant. Then we have Regan, who is struggling with infertility or recurring miscarriages. And then we have Elia, who kind of has like shaped her whole life to please her father. And then because of what goes down with the whole who loves me the most kind of thing, that she didn't particularly care for that situation. She has different driving motivations as well. And like doesn't want to be queen. Again, like I don't know that there's like I haven't been given like a really good reason as to why she should be queen, so I'm not sure. And I don't remember the ending. But what I will say is that I think fans of Juliette Marillier will really like this book. I haven't read any other books by Tessa Gratton before, so I don't know if this is just like the quality of all of her writing, but it does have that like deep connection with the land, that really like woodsy, earthy, folklore kind of a feel to the story. And then I'll say I'm surprised that this isn't more popular, even though I do think that it is a book that's like distinctive and only some people are going to like it. Like it's only going to be a fit for some people. But that being said, there's so much representation in this book. As I said, there's the recurring miscarriage and infertility storyline. There is definitely a storyline that is about gender identity. Gala does not particularly identify with being a woman. I don't know if she necessarily if it has gone as so far as that she wants to be a man, but she wants to have all of the rights and privileges of a man. She dresses as a man. She trains as a man. She has done pretty drastic things to get rid of any like feminine qualities of herself. Again, like a very, very interesting gender identity representation there feel like there's so much more. The girls are all half black. Their mother came from a kingdom where their skin color was darker, and so they're in a land where the skin color, I believe, is Caucasian. And so they have this like sense of like otherness or standing outness. There was like a little bit of a hair, like just a very small snippet about their hair and having it been like done properly or not been done properly, and how it sets them apart and things like that. I'm sure I'm forgetting more representation. I'll share more again in the future if I remember more. But every time that I'm reading it, as things come up, and there's like this like kind of elder abuse. I think at first, when you first reading it, you're like, this king is going mad, he's making crazy decisions, and he definitely, you feel sympathetic towards two of the older sisters. Basically believe that he killed their mother in order to like prove the star prophecy right. And the youngest daughter, Elia, who was too young at the time to really understand, always takes her father's side, and that has caused some discord between them. And at first you're like, yeah, he probably did it, right? Like, and like that's how it is all set up to feel. Like that's why you're creating this sympathy or empathy for Gala and Regan as well, because you're like, oh, I don't disbelieve that is what happened. But then the more that I thought of it, like when I'm reading it and like this is a fantasy novel, I'm like, this mad crazy king, he's ruining the land and he's doing all these things wrong and blah 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 blah. But then there's been a few moments where you're like, he probably has some form of dementia or Alzheimer's or something. Like if you put this situation in the real world, he is clearly struggling. And the girls are all reacting very differently to that. And there's like is this elder abuse kind of thing? Like it was an interesting little mind mix up that I had, where I was like in my head when I was reading it as like, this is a reader reading a fantasy book, this king is ruining the land and he's so crazy and he shouldn't be king anymore. But then you start thinking about like, oh, this is a elderly man who is losing some mental faculties, he's having difficulties with memory, and he's having drastic mood swings and personality changes. And you start thinking of it from that like medical, this is a real older man perspective, and it starts to change how you feel a little bit in the situation, even though the story is that he's like this mad king that's ruining the land and further ruining it by dividing up the land that will absolutely cause conflict. Anyway, really, really interesting representation and explorations of character in this story. Totally in love with it. I have been like ripping through the audiobook. I'm listening to it whenever I possibly can. And I'm over, I think, in and around 50% at this point. So pretty excited about that. Now the next book, now you do have to read books in order in this readathon, which is very interesting. I think I'm going to start certain books ahead of time. Oh, that's the wrong way. But not finish them until like the right order. And I'm obviously going to be prioritizing them in the order that I should have to read them. So, but I did last night have a little bit of time to pick up Clara and the Sun by Kazuo Ishiguro. I don't have the copy with me right now here, obviously in this room, but this is a book that I have a physical copy of. It works for my recently acquired prompt. My partner recently purchased it, and it also has red and like a reddy orange and yellow on the cover, so it works for that prompt for the colors, as well as hard mode because it has two of those colors. So that is like my second book, or the book that is going to be for the second step in the readathon. But I did manage to, I'm going to start picking it up because it's physical, obviously, so I can read it both at the same time as Queens of Innisleer, as long as I finish Queens of Innisleer, I think is the way that that's going to work. Anyway, so I picked it up last night. I didn't get very far because physical book, reading in bed, so tired, like don't read very long in bed at night anymore. So I just read the first few pages, and this is about an artificial friend who I believe is like an artificial intelligent being, and it has something to do with the sun, that they're like powered, or they use sun, oh my god, what is that called? Like sun rays, anyway, to like power them. And it was setting up some like, ooh, there's something going on here with this. So anyway, that's it. Like that's literally the setup. We like got her her in this store where these artificial friends are sold, and they're all sort of like distinctly afraid of being in a situation where they don't have enough sun. So I don't know, that feels kind of like iffy. Like that's definitely like, it felt like a setup moment of like, this is going to be a thing later. So I know that Dave really loved it, my partner, and thought it was like very stressful to read. He was, quote unquote, very stressed and upset while reading it. And he like, we had plans the night that he finished the book. We were going to keep watching House of the Dragon, and he like couldn't. He was like, I need some time to like digest what I just read. So I'm really looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to talking to him about it, and just seeing what I think. This will be my first Kazuru Ishiguro book. So this week has just been like puppy training, just like constantly. That is my whole life right now, is like working my life around her sleep schedule, with like when she goes down in the crate and when she is up out of the crate, and like filling that time. And then I did teach yoga last night and the night before, and I have picked up a couple classes tonight as well. So that's doing my hair, getting ready for that. I'm gonna go do that for a little bit later. It's just been like a lot of, like I said, like lots of puppy time with Poppy. Plans this weekend. We have a puppy neutrality meetup on Sunday morning, which is where us and another owner literally get together, and we like stay a little bit apart, and we train our dogs in proximity to each other, but with like not letting the dogs interact, so that they like learn that they don't have to greet every single dog, and that they like still have to focus and pay attention to you, and do what you say in the presence of other dogs and other distractions. So that's on Sunday. No clue what we're doing on Saturday. Just hopefully something fun with the puppy, cleaning the apartment, lots of like cozy morning vibes. We always go for like walks together on the weekends with Poppy and have like breakfast and stuff like that, and coffee. We get coffee. This is my life now. So anyway, I will hopefully get lots of filming in for you this weekend and update you on Queen's Bit and Clara and the Sun. Out for a walk. It is Saturday morning. Well, not so late in the morning. It's like Saturday mid-morning, and we are out for a walk on a new trail with Poppy. I did come here once with her, but it was very chaotic. So we're gonna tag team this one. It's just pretty intense in new space. It is like not reactive, but like overexcited. Must smell everything. Really well for a while, and then was like a nightmare. And then we did like some just like free time on a long line, letting her smelling around sort of thing. Very mixed bag walking with her. She's like a very high energy, high intensity, and it's kind of like hard to know the right thing to do in the moment with her, like what she needs. If she needs like focus and training, or if she needs more like free time. It's just tough to balance. We really miss having our trainer around for these outings, because she would just sort of like watch, like we always did everything, and she would watch, and then she would just like like whisper little things at us. Like she always knew the best thing to do in that moment. So we're really missing the fact that we are done our puppy course. Anyway, so it is, I don't know, afternoon sometime. I am going to make some more coffee because I feel like I didn't get to like relax and enjoy my coffee today or this morning. So I'm going to make some coffee. I honestly might do like half coffee, half hot chocolate. That's definitely a possibility. Then I'm going to put on the audiobook for The Queens of Venus Lear. I have less than 5 hours of listening left at like 2-ish times speed. So I got to power through that and finish that up. And then, yeah, while I'm listening to the audiobook, just like getting some housework done, getting ready. I'm going to be doing a reading sprint this evening. Obviously, by the time you're seeing this, it's already passed, but I'm doing a reading sprint on Hannah Blackwell's channel tonight. So I will be able to get some more reading done. Probably by that point, I'll be switching, at least working on the physical book for Clara and the Sun. So that's my plans for Saturday. I will loop you guys in along the way. Okay, so it is Sunday night. I thought I would update you on where I am at with Queens of Venus Lear and Clara and the Sun. I am just at work. I just finished teaching 3 classes, which was great, but also awful because I forgot my water bottle and I forgot my wallet. So I couldn't even go and buy a bottled water before class, and there were no cups here at the studio at all. So of the 3 classes, 2 of them were very high intensity, and I just straight up told people that I forgot my water and I was not going to be pushing myself today. But I have like a little baggie of grapes, so I'm gonna nibble away at these grapes while I update you. So this weekend has actually been so lovely. I just feel like Saturday felt so productive. My partner and I have decided to like deep clean one room every weekend. So this weekend was obviously like the living room / like kitchen open area. And just like, it felt so good to like really just like clean and move the carpet and shake it out and vacuum and scrub surfaces that you don't always scrub, like window ledges and like the little ledge at the baseboard, etc. So Saturday felt so productive. In the evening, I did a reading sprint with Hannah Blackwell, the creator of the readathon. Sorry, I'm so tired. And it was really great. It was like we had quite a few different co-hosts like come in and out over the course of the reading sprint, which was really lovely. I actually got so much reading done. I was reading Clara and the Sun because it was like a good opportunity to read that physical book. And then today I just had like a really relaxed, cozy morning. Poppy was so snuggly this morning, which like some mornings she wakes up and she's like awake and she starts like just like all over you and like, you know, crazy puppy energy first thing in the morning. But today she was like so snuggly and cozy, and it was just like so lovely. And we went to a park. It was like kind of rainy and dreary, like a little bit misty, and a cooler day. So the park was very empty, and we met up with another like new puppy owner that we know through our trainer, and did like training side by side, which is really nice. And the dogs did really well. So that was really nice. And then just like had like a brunch with my partner when we got home. Just chilled and then came to work. So it is 5:30, but it's already super, super dark out. And there we are. So now for the books. I am at least 3/4, if not a little bit more, done of Queens of Innisleer. And I don't feel like I've been doing a very good job of describing it, A, and like B, describing what it is and isn't good at along this way. So just is what it is. The book, mostly been listening to the audiobook on Scribd. Occasionally before bed, I will read like 5 pages of the ebook before I have to fall asleep. Mostly it's been on audio. And it says I have 3 hours and 45 minutes left. That's like listening at the faster rate. I think I'm like 1.8 or 2 times speed anyway, but that's how much time I have left at the rate that I'm going. And I am on like genuinely confused about how there's going to be still almost 4 hours worth of content left in this book. Like it feels like we're in like the final rollout of all of, I'm sorry, I'm jiggling so much, of all of the conflicts and stuff. So I'm a little bit confused about that. I do know this is like a slower moving book, and it has been slow, but it's been an enjoyable slow. Like just exploring the island, and I actually really I know that there is I feel like I've seen complaints that they don't think all of the other perspectives were necessary. And I actually really enjoyed all of the variety of perspectives and like learning about everyone's different experiences with the island of Lear, or with like, there's been like an exploration of family dynamics, parent relationships, good ones and bad ones, ones that were maybe a little bit smothering or a little bit manipulative that we're now realizing as an adult. There's like bad ones in the sense that some sisters straight up think their dad killed their mom. So like, that's not a great relationship. And then just like this weird kind of potential elder abuse. So lots of family dynamics going on. And I like to see as well all of the like non-sister perspectives, their various motivations, even the sisters' various motivations. Like I have been really enjoying that element of it. That being said, the one sister is definitely like main character. And I think we're supposed to think she's the best. I think we're supposed to think that she's like the most right to be the queen or to rule the land. But I'm not sold. Like the other 2 sisters have problems. Sure. So does she though. And she's been pretty ambivalent. Like I think she wants like what's best for the land, but she doesn't really see herself as having a responsibility in that. She like wants to make the others do the right things, but she doesn't really want to take charge herself. And like just outside of that, everyone keeps being like, oh, it's gotta be Elia, it's gotta be, oh, she's the main character obviously. It's gotta be Elia, it's gotta be Elia, it's gotta be Elia. Like she's the rightful queen, she's this and that and that and the other. And you're like, I don't see, like based on what we know about her life, I'm not sold. I don't know why all these other people think that she must be the queen. She has no qualities that have been made clear to make her the right queen. That being said, again, the other sisters, they've got some stuff. I wouldn't necessarily pick one over the other, but I don't feel like it is an all-out race to win for Elia, and in the same way that other characters with strong motivating feelings do. So have really been enjoying it, have like really enjoyed the various explorations of what's been done. I'll say like some to varying degrees or like of success, as I mentioned in the last one with like representation. There's like an abandonment issues, betrayal of trust, like responsibility, separation between like crown and your own being and entity. I have loved it. I've loved the writing. I've loved the woodsy, eldritch sort of mystical vibe to the island and the writing. but I'm not sold on like the sister number one. Again, it's like a retelling, right? So I don't remember how King Lear ended. I'm gonna look that up right after this to like get the synopsis of King Lear. I just remember loving the drama. Like there was so much, like in high school, our curriculum went like grade 9, you didn't read Shakespeare. My class did Midsummer Stream anyway. Then in grade 10, it was Romeo and Juliet. 11 was Macbeth. And 12 was usually Hamlet, but my teacher decided to do King Lear. As I'm saying this, I feel like I already told you this. But anyway, I just remember reading King Lear and like loving the drama. Like it was like a soap opera. And I just thought it was so much fun. This is less dramatic, or at least those are the parts that haven't been played up. It has not played up the drama. It has more played up the opposing motivations and the things that have happened in them and the characteristics of different people that have made them have the motivations that they have, and how that is playing into the fallout of this situation with the king dividing up the land or not really naming a direct heir. So that's where I'm at with Queens of Innis Lear. Almost done. Probably will finish, almost 4 hours. Probably will finish tomorrow, if not Tuesday. And I don't know how there's almost 4 hours left. A lot of crazy stuff must still happen. I don't know. Then Clara and the Sun. I made great progress on that last night. I think I'm about a third of the way into the book. Things are happening. Clara has been selected. So we're following an artificial friend who is destined to be like a friend to a particular child. Go home with this child. She's kind of supposed to like take care of, but also very clearly like observe and protect, it kind of sounds like, the child. There's some adjacent to unsettling stuff going on. I don't quite feel unsettled just yet, but I feel like I'm about to be unsettled. Like we're definitely dropping some hints about like, hey, the world is not 100% what it was before. And nothing weird going on with the world, but there's something weird going on with the children, like with the girl that Clara has been purchased for. Something's going on with her and she's sick, but there's also clearly something else that's been going on, that's been done, let's say. So that's interesting. The mother has a weird vibe. Yeah, there's some stuff. There's been like some drops of hints that something is different in the world. People are different, maybe. And I think the artificial friend is supposed to play a very particular role that has not been fully divulged to the reader yet. So that's where I'm at. Really enjoying it, I think. Like, I find Clara's perspective really interesting. I find the choices that she makes really interesting. I love that she's like super observant about the world. Every now and then it like comments or writes how she is perceiving the world. Not in the way that she's understanding things, but like actually like visually how she's seeing things. And at first I said to Dave, is something going on with this? And he was like, no, it's just like meant to be like, that's what an AI's vision would be like. He was like, oh, like I did not catch on to that. Thought something was weird going on. But then once I understood that, I actually really enjoyed it. Like I appreciate how it is playing into that, depending on where her focus is, depending on how confident and sure or settled she is to her surroundings, and what is like of utmost importance, and like how that affects like her actual vision, like how she is perceiving the world. Very interesting. I'm not like in love with the book just yet, but I anticipate that there is some unsettling things just around the corner. So that is it. As I said, Sunday night, I'm going to go home, shower. I'm exhausted. Eat some dinner. Edit this vlog. Got a whole lot of stuff to edit. So hopefully that is not awful. And that will be 1 week down. I guess tomorrow, Monday, is officially like 1 full week. So I'm not quite, or I have not completed any step yet, but I'm like almost done the first step. And then the second step will be right up after that. Third book that I have to pick up, I think, is Black Sun.